Hello and welcome everybody to Sunday's edition of the Farm Update, otherwise known as Wardy's Waffle. You can see here outside it's raining, Saturday morning. Lots going on with the weather at the minute all over the country, and not the best for farming and trying to get crops in for those of you who are struggling with oilseed rape and also winter barley. We haven't got either of those. Anyway, this week's update, I've got a few things going on, some from here, some from France. You saw the update I did on Wednesday, little tip from a supermarket in France when I was there with Ron. I had a good flying visit 2 days there to help sort out things with her house that she's selling over there. So this week's update, we have got a little bit of footage looking at the floor. Before I went away, we were trying to get our floor unblocked. One of these drying floors like this next door where we store the oilseed rape has got some rape crushed into the floor, and it's obviously restricting the airflow. So I helped Ruben and Tom with that. We're looking at marking it out. So we've got a few clips of that, and this is it, where we're trying to determine where the floor is blocked. We're just trying to get some air through this floor. We've got a blockage in the doorway here. The wheels of the forklift, as we've been pushing the rape up, have ground some rape into these grills, and there should be air coming through in a very small amount. We're all right here because it's not in the doorway. But the nearer we get to where Tom is, where the forklift's been running more, they're blocked. And we've only got one section open. So this is one section. From that joint to there is one section, that's another, and that's another with a trap door inside. I'll show you. So we're dropping the door again to keep the wind out the shed so we can tell what air's coming through the floor. Just mark this. So we've got no air coming through the grills between that white mark and that one. So now Ruben's going inside a tunnel, and then we can switch the air on and stay in the tunnel. It's not hardly any air pressure in there, and then Ruben will stay in there, and then we'll save switching the fan on and off, and then we'll keep shutting the slide there, then opening the next one. There we are, that's Ruben just shutting one. We've got some weights on these doors with the wind. I just saw Ruben open another duct in that next door, the next section. But we've got weights on here because if we don't, the wind will blow them up. And we've got an area you can see where it's put white paint on to show that's blocked in that area. So we're just working our way down the shed, but you can see it is getting narrower. So watch that move now. When Ruben opens the next trap door. There we go. But you can see the middle here, it hasn't moved so much dust. So it shows here particularly, they're still blocked. So we've got a wire brush on a pole. There. See, that does it. So we're getting near the back of the shed, and you can see now the dust every time Ruben opens the flap inside. You can see now it's clearing all the floor. There's the line. So as we're getting near the back of the shed, none of the grills are blocked because we don't run on these anywhere near as much. That just shows the airflow here is much greater than it is up the end here where all the white marks are. So that's got the whole of the shed blown, and we've got different sections giving different amount of air, but I've got it all white lined now. Of course that's better without the noise. I've got it all white lined now, so we'll know what's blowing properly, what's only half blowing, and what's blocked completely. So in this doorway between these white lines, it's more or less blocked completely till you get to a narrow point here, and then from this white line through, there's probably half the amount of air getting through just from that area there through to that white line. All that side is completely clear because the forklift doesn't run there. That side is completely clear. Then you get to this line, and virtually the whole of that way is 100% clear. The volume of air coming through it is really good, because obviously when you have the blade on, the forklift's nearly right back here to start with. This is our last year with rape. It might be a case of taking half this floor up at this end, and then getting well vent for people to put the floor down to come and take it up, and then we'll properly clean it and put it down for wheat, because they won't block with wheat like it is doing rape. Anyway, that's sorted out what the issue is and where it is. Brought the power washer around, so that's what we're going to do. Had a word with well vent, and they said the only thing is to steam clean this section. So I brought the power washer around, which we've not had it around here before. It's coupled permanently up to the shed, so we're going to get it into RBC, get some connectors and get it coupled up. You saw in last week's update that we were taking the screws and the augers out of the grain stirrer. You can see now that's the beam taken right back to the end of the shed, so that's all ready for filling. This is the bit of wheat left over. We've got some more loads going out this next few days, and these are the augers that Tom and Ruben took off those stirrers. You can see what they're like. There's my foot against it, my hand, not too heavy. I'm not sure what they are, 4 metres long, probably 5 metres long, something like that. You saw they go down within a few inches of the floor. They're just fastened on at the top there, my little hole, and there's a bracket at the very top of the beam. You can see that little thing, that stem sticking down and just clamps around this part. Anyway, the combine, that's the header. The combine's just about ready for this harvest. You've got to change the engine oil and hydraulic oil, and then it's ready to go. They're just getting this shed ready for oilseed rape. We've got ADM bringing some rape in again this year, just having a blow round before we get this floor out, before we get the power washer rigged up. Ruben's been and got some fittings. We're going to get this rigged up with an IBC of water, and then hopefully it'll feed the power washer and get this floor cleaned out. So then we went over to France. Ron and I went to France for a couple of days, saw various machines working, some combines working, a lot of straw being baled and hay especially as well. Got a few clips of that. I think that was Thursday we saw these, and also went into a local market. So here we go with those. Very interesting here in France. All roadsides mown, hedges cut, and we are still, what are we, the 19th of July. So they're obviously not worrying about wildlife or anything like we are in England. More roadsides totally mown, next to sunflowers, both sides of the road. It's local market day here in Plaisance in France, in the Midi-Pyrenees. Some fantastic produce here, all on the display from local farms. These are the melons I've been having at breakfast. The orange ones, just so sweet.
Ah oui, eh ben oui, elle est en plein boom, elle. Ah oui.
Local cheeses.
Oh, j'achète aussi là maintenant.
More fruit, those lovely melons. Just incredible. Here's a local fish as well.
Oui, 12 crevettes.
Lovely local church. Just found a combine on the roadside near Plaisance. He's got a Draper header on the front, picking up the crop that's been swathed. I don't think it was rape, looking at the stubble, and we used to have one of these headers a few years ago when we used to swath the oilseed rape. You see his campus there with those fingers, picks it up and takes it in the combine. Just heading back to the airport now at Toulouse, and just stopped here. Great location on the hilltop, looking at some of the crops. Got an irrigation rain gun working there. Another one through there somewhere. Yeah, great spot here, great view, but also interesting just here on the road. Looks like somebody wants France to come out of the EU. I think if they knew what was happening in England, I don't think they'd be saying that. So that was interesting, looking at the markets and the fruit and veg over there. You can just see the produce that is available to the French is just fantastic, and I just think the French government place far more importance on local produce than what that our government does over here. Anyway, don't get me started on that, because you know my thoughts on that and what our government are doing to our food system. Anyway, what else we got? So when I was away, Tom and Ruben actually got that power washer rigged up, got it going, and this is a clip of them actually getting the floor blown out on steam and getting some of the ducts and the grills clear from oilseed rape, so make the airflow run through them. So that's good news that we managed to get that cleared. So thanks Tom and Ruben for that. You can just see they did a good job with that. This will be the last year with stored oilseed rape. I apologise if you're getting fed up of me saying that, but we've had enough of storing it, and we're going to have to clean the floor properly this next spring and get all the grills and all the ducts properly cleaned before we start using it for wheat and other crops next year. So now we've had a bit of a trial run with the steam cleaner, we know where we'll be with that, so that'll do a good job next year. I just want to go in this air tunnel here and just show you some of the flaps and what was happening in there when Ruben was opening them. You saw Ruben open them a few minutes ago, so I'll just turn the camera around and go in this air tunnel so you know what's in there. So this is the one of the grain stores we have. This holds about 1,400 tonnes of wheat when it's full to the door. So in here is an air tunnel. You can see through here, that's the other rape store next door, so I'll just put the light on and come in here. I'm not sure if the camera will adjust the light to it. Yes, it will. Up there are the fans above. You've seen them go up there where all the fans are, and these are the trap doors that Ruben was just opening and closing. So this is the section, so the drying floor is above there, so you can see you've got a cavity underneath here, so this whole tunnel here will fill with air, and then it forces it underneath the floor. So if we have a trap door shut, and I'll shut that one like that there, if that trap door's shut, you can see the air can't go under there. So this is what Ruben was doing. So when we have the shed not full, when it isn't full, or we're filling it from the end, we'll have all these trap doors shut like this, and then we open them as we fill the shed, we open them where the grain is that we want to blow. And of course we've got them that side as well. You can either do both crops. If you've got rape that side, which you're doing wheat that side, we can cool them both, or one or the other, or dry them as well when we get the stirrers on. So that shows it inside this air tunnel. Just go outside here. And then of course the fan louvers, some of you have seen that, that's where the louvers are up there. So the fans are above us up there. We'll just nip up there quick, because I know some of you might not have seen it, and new viewers of the channel. I'll just nip up there and show you what we've got up there. So I've just come up there. These are the fans. As I say, apologise if you've already known this. That's 50 horsepower, that's 50 horsepower, and this is the shed from above. Had some wheat go out this week. There's about 2 loads left there, I think, maybe, so 60 tonnes maybe left in there. And this is empty. And starting oilseed rape, that's empty. Starting oilseed rape on Monday. That is not combining, that's bringing in for and storing for the merchant ADM. So that's just giving you a bit of an insight into how we direct the air from the grain tunnel here beside me, how we direct that under the floor here and what we do. So yeah, hope you found that bit interesting. Also, while I was away, Tom got, with Ruben's help, got the Elita on the John Deere 8RX to start putting in our stewardship areas. We've got various bits around the farm we do for wildlife, and they got quite a lot of that in on the Thursday while we were away. We got back from France Thursday night, and so there was few bits left to do, but got caught with the rain. We got some rain yesterday that wasn't forecast. I managed to just get a few seconds clip of the RX pulling the Elita. Not very long, I'm afraid, because it rained within minutes of me getting to the field. But it was very, very tough, as you can see from this clip. We put extra wide wings on the Elita as well, and to make just to make it do a better job underneath, and that took a lot more pulling. But this is those few seconds of Tom on the Elita, and you can see putting our stewardship areas in. Tom's just heading off to one of the stewardship plots. Ron and I just got back from France in the night, and Tom did some of the plots yesterday, so we'll go and see him in a few minutes. Ruben's just put a set of rolls on. It's only a small set we've got the 6 metre Simba set. Bought these at a sale a few years ago. We don't use them very often, but for these small plots they're ideal. Got some more wheat going today. I don't know what it is at the minute with some of the hauliers. They say they're coming and then don't turn up, or they say they're coming at a certain time. Let's open the door. Say they're coming at a certain time, and then never let you know it's going to be about 4 hours later, and then just turn up at the gate. Really odd at the minute. Some of the hauliers, we're finding they are not as good at organising as they used to be. Anyway, in the shed here, you just see we've got a bit of wheat left here. We can't clean the shed out properly yet until we get this gone. So this should all be gone, and we've got some in the other shed as well. And then to finish off, and we've probably got to take some up to the other farm, because we are keeping probably 450 tonnes of wheat over. We're keeping 450 tonnes of wheat over from this year to next, because I missed the good selling prices, because it started to drop, and like always you keep it thinking it's going to go back up, and it didn't, it just kept dropping. I have sold some wheat only a few days ago, 2 days ago, because of what's happening in Ukraine. The price went up this last week, and so I have sold some for September for £200 a tonne, and I've sold some for September and October, so little bits, and I'm just looking at selling some for November 24, because that price has moved up a little bit as well. So I'll keep informed on grain sales where we are, but we are going to be carrying quite a lot over, and Tom and Ruben did move quite a lot up to the other farm into the bins that we're keeping when Ron and I were in Wales having our break a couple of weeks ago. So we'll get this lorry loaded, and then we'll keep you informed and keep you up to date on where we are with wheat sales for this next harvest. Lorry's just rolled up, as you can see, so been waiting a bit, but we've got there in the end. Just going to put the bucket on now and soon pop this 29 tonnes of wheat on. There we go. Hydraulic locking pins in there, which is handy. Just see those lock on, so that's the bucket locked on. Just stick the neck of the bucket out a little bit, no one will go out till you see the letter A. Job done. So you see all that dust and the chaff flying about there. The window was opened a second ago, look there, so I'll just shut it quickly, because this forklift's been cleaned by Tom and Ruben, and wasn't watching up the front whether I was near enough the edge of the lorry or not, because I was concentrating more on keeping the cab clean, and of course I've gone and spilt it over the side of the lorry because I wasn't far enough forward. Drivers and screwdrivers. Absolutely brilliant. Been talking about drivers helping sweep up. This one is doing it, which is fantastic. Thank you. Just started to rain, but this is the machine, the Elita as we've named it. The Elita in Latin means the chosen one. Tom is just managing to pull it. It's taken some pulling, because we've got some different There we are, just struggling there. We've got some different wings on. We put some bigger wings on here so that it would actually lift and do more underneath the ground than what the other wings had done. And it's just really tough. You can see the seed coming out that tube, just dropping out. So the mix that Tom has been putting in on all our plots, it's only a 1 year mix, as I explained a minute ago. We are going to be doing them again next year with a more kale based mix. But this is the seed label off that, if I can just hold it there. This is the all the various varieties of mainly cereals you can see that's in there. And this is provide winter food, which is obviously so important for wildlife throughout the difficult part of the year. And this is a sort of a mix that helps them with the coat, helps them with nutrition and everything as well. So that is the seed label, and this is from King's Crops, where I get all our seed from. We have also Cambridge rolled the plots. Reuben was on those yesterday rolling. We got quite a lot of those done. Here is Reuben with our smaller 6 metre Simba rolls rolling in the stewardship areas. This is the field on the top of Leadenham hillside. You saw me putting fertiliser on a week or two ago in the clips. Tom's put the seed mix on, the stewardship mix, planted it crossway on, so Reuben's rolling it up and down opposite way on. So these are the rolls that I bought at the farm sale about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Paid £2,500 for them. They are probably the mid-90s. But for doing small areas, this area here, we would normally have used the big rolls, but it's the biggest plot we've got. So when we get into the smaller plots, these rolls will be perfectly big enough, because there's some awkward shapes to do. It's a little bit rough. You can see now there's a little bit of surface debris, but we are going to do all these plots again next year. Just spotted a bit of seed there. You can see there's some millet. We are going to do these properly next year and do them earlier. It was so wet this spring we couldn't do them properly. We're going to solo them and really cultivate them properly, because this is only a 1 year mix. When I say it's a 1 year mix, it'll only survive one winter, whereas the mix we normally do, we're going to do with the kale based mix, is 2 years. You see the star shaped breaker rings there. Doing a job. Going slow. Does a lot better job slow, rolls always do. So when I say it's a 1 year mix, the countryside stewardship scheme that we're in is a 5 year scheme, and rather than put one crop down for 5 years, because you can't do that, this is like a cereal based mix that only lasts 1 year, and then we'll go 2 years next time with a kale based mix. So a year from now, hopefully we've got planted a kale based mix, and there's still some other seeds in that. We'll look at that next year, but for now this is just a 1 year mix. And then what would quite do in years 4 and 5, I'm not quite sure, because if you're not careful, if you put kale in too often, you can get the land sick of kale. So we don't want to be planting that too often, so we're going to see if there's something else for year 4 and 5. But I'll get Jim Egan from King's Crops to come and do a bit of a talk for us and chat about the options and the stewardship schemes, so everybody knows what we're doing. So there's quite a few things you can do, different options and different schemes you can go in. Just come to Birchwood School, and they're just going back. This is the last day of term, and I thought it was 3 o'clock and they were leaving. It's 2 o'clock. Some of them have actually gone. But these three here have done the school's challenge, and they know Nala and Frankie, so they're just having a quick say hello and a goodbye to them. Because you three you're not coming to this school next year, are you? You're going to secondary school? Yeah. And how many of you were you both last year doing it as well?
Yeah, I wasn't.
You were? No, I didn't think. No, I thought that's right. So yeah, great. So here we are, just having a look at the dogs. So that's it. Some of the children who have done the school's challenge that the Lincolnshire Agricultural Society organised, or the Education Department of the Society organised, and those children you've just seen, there's 2 or 3 of them. 2 of them I think aren't going to be here next year. They're moving up to another school. So, but they were with me last year and doing this school challenge last year. So that's 2 years. brought Nala and Frankie, as you saw. They both love Nala and Frankie and they watch these YouTube videos. And I would also just like to say thank you because I've got a box of fantastic beer from Dom and Alana, the teachers, and I've got this most wonderful card from the children. You can see this was after they were announced that they'd won. Got the NFU bags, so you can see that Rhonda had given them, and all the children have just written something in this card. And thank you ever so much if you're watching this this video, which I know some of you do. Thank you for that. You've been fantastic children. I've just loved every minute being with you. Thank you, Andrew, for all the support you have given us as one. Thank you for all the knowledge and time that you've got and we've got to spend with you. Just fantastic. So thank you, all of you, and hope to see you again soon. And please come back to the farm if you'd like to see harvest in progress, and please do keep in touch. So that's it for this week's update. Wet weather outside. We've got oilseed rape starting this next week, coming into shed, which isn't ideal with the weather as it is, because the lorry tyres will bring the water into the shed, then it makes it difficult pushing up. We don't really want that, but not what we can do. Anyway, we've no combining happening for probably until at least the 10th of August, and if this weather keeps going like this, it'll be after that. We don't grow winter barley, and at the moment we're on a sort of a 3-year, 4-year holiday from oilseed rape. Anyway, that's it for this week's update. Thank you very much for watching, and please click like, share and subscribe, and remember, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and we'll see you, all being well, midweek.